Hi everyone, it's Glenda here from Buy Paper Flower. I just thought I would share a video with you on my 6-pocket 3-card slot folders that I make. This is one I prepared earlier. You've got your secretarial pockets on the front and on the back. They're hinged, so they'll take quite a bit. There's a quarter inch spine, so you can actually put an insert in the middle if you wanted to, or you can always make that spine wider if you want to have more inserts in the middle between it. I tend to not like inserts in the middle of it. I like it as on its own band, but that's just a personal preference thing. Inside then there's 3 card slots, which I've actually cut the back of the pockets, so these are actually full length. So this one runs from here right down to the bottom. If you don't want that and you just want to be able to put one business card, for argument's sake, in each slot, then don't cut the slots and your cards will just poke out a little bit. Also in there is a pocket as well, so if you can see, that's quite a large pocket on that side, and there's one on the other side as well. And then you've also got 2 flaps there to store receipts or bits and pieces, stickers, that type of thing. So for this you're going to need some double-sided tape. I use 3 sizes: 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch and in between. A craft knife or paper trimmer Stanley knife, a pencil, corner chomper. This is my favourite. We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. Some scissors, a bone folder, a paper trimmer, if you have one, it makes life a tad easier, and a scoring board, or you can use your bone folder and a ruler if that's easier for you. So let's get started. I've cut out my papers and my cards just to save a bit of time, because that's pretty much fairly easy. I'll give you the dimensions of each piece of card as we go. So let's start scoring. I've got it in 2 piles because one pile is to score and the other is not to score. Also, a little tip: if your paper is directional, which this one is, obviously it's got balloons going one way and it also has writing on it, then I always mark where the top is. Just makes life a bit easier. So grab your scoring board or whatever it is you use to score. And so this piece of paper is actually 10 inches wide. So looking at it the right way up, it's 10 inches by 9 1/4. So on your 10 inch side, so 10 inches at the top, come in 1/2 inch and score, rotate, and score, rotate, and score and rotate. So we're back where we started on the 10 inch side. Obviously half of 10 inches is 5. So this is the middle, 5. We want to go 1/8 of an inch either side and score. So 1/8 of an inch before 5 inches. So 4 7/8. And 5 1/8. So 1/8 past. That's going to form our spine. Obviously if you want a wider spine, you're going to have to make this whole piece wider. So if you want a 1/2 inch spine, then obviously you'll need to add 1/2 inch to the overall measurement and find the middle of that. So that's that piece. We set that aside. These pieces are 5 1/4 by 6, and these are our pockets that go on the front. These ones. So on the 5 1/4 side, we need to score at 1/2 inch, rotate, score at 1/2 inch, rotate, score at 1/2 inch. So the top of our pocket doesn't have a score line. We're only scored on 3 sides. And there's 2 of those, so we need to do that twice. So on the 5 1/4 side, come in 1/2 inch and score, 1/2 inch and score, 1/2 inch and score. no score line on the top. This piece, which is our pocket, plain pocket, that's this piece here. This piece here with the little secretarial pockets on. This piece here is 4.5 by 8 1/4. So on the 4.5 side, come in 1/2 inch and score. Just one score line. Now this piece is our card holder piece, and this is 11 1/4 long and 4.5 wide. So on the 4.5 side, we need to come in 1/2 inch and score. Rotate so your score line is at the bottom. Score at 2 inches, 2.5 inches, 5 inches, 5.5, 8 inches, and 8.5. And that's all our scoring for the time being. Now our other pieces which aren't scored, these are our two little corner pockets, these ones here. So all we need to do is match up the corner, the left hand corner, grab our corner chomper. This is a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch, so I use the 1/2 inch side for this and just chomp that corner. And this piece here is 8 1/4 by 4, and this is a backing that we're going to actually stick to the back of our 3 card slot pocket. So we'll just set those aside for the moment. So the first thing we have to do is our 4.5 by 8 1/4 piece, which has one score line down one side at 1/2 inch. We need to put some tape on that. So I'll just grab my medium sized tape. Any tape will do. I just like to use this particular size. And I put it right on the edge. And we do the same to this piece. Just make sure it's stuck down. I'll take the tape off this one. Sorry, my chair's very squeaky. Grab our bone folder, burnish that so that's nice and folded, so we can set that piece aside. Now this piece here, before we take the tape off, if you didn't want your top pocket for instance, to go all the way to the bottom, then don't do this next step. Just leave out this step. But I like the pockets to be long because I don't necessarily put cards in all of them. So we just need to grab our craft knife, or this is, in Australia we call these a Stanley knife. So our top score line, which was 2 inches down, we just need to find that. Just come in a little bit from the edge, it's not an exact science, and stop before the tape. Move your ruler down and cut again, just a smidgen, not even just a smidgen. We just need to take out a little piece, tiny weeny little piece. We need to do the same on the next one, just the first line only. The first score line, which would be the one at 5, oh, that's a very good one, the one at 5 inches. This is a very well used desk mat and it's got lots of holes in it. And then we come down to the bottom one and we'll do the same. The 8-inch score mark. And then these little pieces, we just need to cut them out. So I just used the end of my blade, and that wasn't a very good one, and cut them out. Even new knife, this one's a bit blunt. This is going to be hidden, so it doesn't need to be pretty. It usually looks a bit better than this though. So remember, if you don't want your slots to go all the way down, you want to actually put cards in them, so you want them to be that depth. Don't do this step. Okay, now we can take our tape off and fold our edge over. there is a method to my madness. We need to do all these steps in this order for the best results. Okay, now we flip it over. So we're looking at the right side. And now that's our wrong side here. Wrong side. Flip it over so we're looking at the right side. We've also, if you can notice, there's a smaller gap here and a wide one. So your small is actually the top. So our bottom score mark, our second score mark, we fold on and fold up. So this gives us our concertina effect for the cards. Like that. Flip it back over to the wrong side. Grab our tape and we're going to stick down those little joins. You don't have to do this once again, but I just think it makes it nice and neat. Nothing's going to catch on the inside then. That doesn't want to come. I need to grow some fingernails. Okay. So we're still on the wrong side. Just fold them over so they're stuck down. There we are, back to the right side. Just burnish them so they sit nice and flush. It's a bit bulky in that corner there. And there we go. Okay, so our next step is, I just have a crocodile, but you can use whatever you like. But here where our thick join is, where we folded it over, we're just going to put a little brad just for extra strength. And just to make it look pretty. So just punch a hole through all the layers. I just go, you know, an 1/8 of an inch, just over 1/8, between an 1/8 and a 1/4 of an inch in from the edge. It doesn't have to be that exact.